God talks to all of us in different ways. And I think for me, I've always been one of those people that have been really envious of people who know from a very early time in their childhood what they want to do with their life, because that was never me. And I don't consider myself greatly gifted in any one certain area. Like some people know they're a really good singer and should go into music, or some people know that they're just born to be a doctor, or feel that way anyway, and then they pursue what it takes to get there. But I don't feel like I was ever led that way. I feel like the way I'm led by God almost always is through experiences I have with people, and the way they have encouraged me over my lifetime, and the different ways they have shown me love and joy. And I think the ways that you find joy in your life, those are huge indicators from God of what He wants you to pursue in life. And so that takes a long time of listening and searching. And if you're not open to really having quiet time with God and contemplating what it may be that He wants for your life, or what you see Him blessing you in, then you're going to miss out on it, and you're not going to see all the signs that you need to see. I know there's been lots of times in my life when I've missed the signs and missed Him tapping on my shoulder. I always tell people that I'm one of those people that has to be hit over the head with a piano instead of feeling the taps on my shoulder from God. And I wish I wasn't like that, and I feel like the older I get, the better I get at listening for the taps. But He certainly speaks quietly and gently most of the time when He's speaking to me. And He has spoken to me most recently about Him. I feel like He's telling me He wants me to speak to people about how I have seen Him in the world, and that the way that we've been taught to view Him in our traditional Christian ways isn't necessarily always the way He works. And I think that's been hard for me to accept, because it's scary to go out on a limb and tell people, you know, everything you hear in church all your life isn't necessarily all there is to it. There's a lot more gray matter in the world than black and white. So right now, I'm trying to listen to God and trying to get better about speaking in front of people and sharing with them that really the core essence of God, no matter what anybody tells you, is love and acceptance, and not making one column for people that He loves and another column for people that He doesn't love, and those people don't get in, those people aren't included. That's not how God works. And I feel like He's calling me to spend the rest of my life telling people that. And if there's anything I want my children to know, it's that. I really feel like He's telling me to learn more about Him, to preach more about Him in the lay speaking I do at the Spickard United Methodist Church, and in other ways grow in my faith so that I can be biblical about what I tell people. I think it's really important when you hear God calling you to go to the Bible and say, is this biblical? Can I look at the New Testament and see God's promise of love and grace and mercy in what He's asking me to do? And that's your measuring rod for what He's calling you to do.
My call to ministry has not been really over, but it's been a constant conversation over the years. It began 35 years ago at Fairview United Methodist Church in Columbia, and it did not begin with some sort of exciting, moving personal experience, but it began with the people of the church I was attending, who began to speak with me about the possibilities that I had gifts appropriate for ministry, and that perhaps God was calling me into ministry. My pastor was very encouraging, and so were my parents, who also attended that church. So I began to take them seriously, and finally I decided to sequester myself for as long as it took to get some confirmation. And what I did was sit in the chapel at the University of Missouri, the A.P. Green Chapel, right next to the Student Union, for 3 days with my Bible, reading my Bible and praying and waiting for some sort of confirmation. And on the third day, it came to me as I was reading Psalm 51. I just stopped in my tracks, and there was something within me that said, this is what you're looking for. This is the substantiation of the call to ministry. And so after that, I went to seminary and came back to Missouri and became a pastor. But it all happened in the local church with people who loved me and who encouraged me to investigate. And when I did do that personal investigation, I found reasons to believe that God called me to ministry. Can't prove that. It's a very personal thing. But I hope over the years there has been some fruit and maybe some evidence that this whole story is indeed true. God bless you.